Welcome, everyone. So this is going to be a weekly roundup. We're going to do the top 4 hot topics of the week. Let's get started.
Breaking news, 3 people are confirmed dead and multiple others are injured after a shooting at a high school in Michigan. This is happening at Oxford High School in a suburb about 45 miles northwest of Detroit. A suspected shooter is in custody, according to the Oakland County Undersheriff. The suspect is reportedly a 15-year-old male who attends the school. At this time, we do not know the identities of 3 victims killed. 6 others were also shot, including at least 1 teacher. The whole incident lasted about 5 minutes. We will continue to follow this developing story.
Okay, guys, as you know, with this case, they did find the shooter and they charged his parents as well. This was one of the most highlighted cases of the week. So I just wanted you guys to know about this case, as well as what's going to happen in the future. Is there going to be a panel that's going to come on and discuss the topics? Like I said, this is just going to be a dry run just to see how things are going. We'll have other people on the panel to discuss the topics as well. Let's move on to topic 2.
But first, the news on this hour 18. The big story, laying out the case against actor Jussie Smollett. Prosecutors showing jurors video you saw first on CBS 2. The hours leading up to the alleged fake attack. CBS 2's Charlie DeMar was in court for the first day of testimony. Charlie.
Brad, Jussie Smollett's defense team called this entire case a rush to judgment by police. They even called the Osundairo brothers liars. Today, prosecutors, they punched back, walking the jury through this case, really opening up the evidence for them, walking them through this step by step, trying to prove that this case was anything but a rush job.
We're confident in his legal team, and we look forward to people hearing the actual facts in this case.
Outside the courtroom, Jussie Smollett's family by his side. Inside court, Michael Feast, the lead Chicago police detective who worked the case from the time Smollett was a victim to the time he was a suspect, walked the jury through the evidence, which he described as thorough police work. He testified at first police were determined to try and find Smollett's attacker. He said this was horrible. The crime was a hate crime. There was a noose. There was bleach.
Was it Grandma Illinois?
Feast said a major turn in the case was when the blurry figures police were looking for came to life. Brothers Ola and Abel Osundairo were identified from this rideshare video the night of the attack. Police believed they had the men who attacked Smollett.
So what's going on here? Might be arrested.
Shortly after their arrest, the brothers told detectives they were paid to buy a rope that resembled a noose, red hats to portray a supporter of President Donald Trump, and instructed to yell homophobic and racial slurs at Smollett while roughing him up on a frigid winter night in 2019. all in exchange for $3,500. And for the first time in the case, it was revealed Smollett allegedly texted one of the brothers while in custody, quote, "Brother, I love you. I stand with you. I know 100% you and your brother did nothing wrong and never would. I'm making the statement so everyone else knows they'll not get away with this." Detective Thies was asked by prosecutors, to this day, has he ever come clean about this hate crime that you're aware of? Thies responded, no.
Now, the judge just took a break for dinner. The second witness is expected to be called again. Court has been going till about 7 o'clock each night. The lead detective in the case was also asked why so many resources were dedicated to this case. And he said because it was an awful hate crime, so many people from the mayor on down wanted answers. Brad?
Charlie, certainly some long days of deliberation right now going on. Charlie, rather, in the court. I understand things got heated, though, between some lawyers and the judge today.
Yeah, and it happened when the defense was trying to establish that the Osundairo brothers were homophobic. But Judge Lynn actually had to stop the defense attorney several times for his line of questioning due to the fact of how he was asking the questions. Again, not unusual for tempers to flare inside the courtroom, but there was some of that this afternoon, Brad.
Okay. Our Charlie DeMar on it since day one. Charlie, thank you.
Okay, now we're going to move on to topic number 3.
A dispute over child custody turns deadly in Texas, putting the state's stand your ground law to the test. The man who pulled the trigger claims it was self-defense, but the victim's wife says video of the confrontation tells a different story. We do want to warn you, it is difficult to watch. ABC's Zorin Shah reports for us.
Chad Reed was attempting to pick up his 9-year-old son from his ex-wife, Christina, seen here in the white shirt. Reed's current wife, Jennifer, capturing this video from her car, speaking exclusively to GMA.
He would do anything for time with his kids.
Kyle Carruth, Christina's new partner, joins the argument, brandishing a rifle.
Call 911.
Carruth shoots at Chad's feet. Then Chad appears to reach toward the gun. That's when Carruth fires 2 fatal shots. So far, no charges have been filed in the case.
Did you ever think that this could happen?
No, I thought it was like a stun gun or a taser gun or something. Like, who's going to bring out? They're having a discussion about a custody thing.
Carruth's attorney writing in part, all Texans may lawfully brandish a firearm to protect themselves. Though Reed came unarmed, he announced his intent to kill Kyle Carruth with Kyle's own gun and took immediate, powerful action to do so, which was unsuccessful. Jennifer Reed's lawyer believes self-defense does not apply.
Whenever Mr. Carruth brought that firearm out, he's the one that escalated and provoked the situation.
According to ABC's local station, the district attorney recused their office. The police department turning the case over to Texas's attorney general.
The attorney general is going to be looking at justification of stand your ground, justification. Was there the threat potentially that Chad could harm Kyle or get his hands on the weapon? And so as a result, Kyle shot him.
Jennifer is also fighting to get custody of her husband's kids. Zorin Shah, ABC News Los Angeles.
Hello, I'm Mark Brown. Get more.
Okay, guys, this is the 4th and last topic.
The defendant, please stand up.
Jury selection underway in the trial of former police officer Kimberly Potter, charged with manslaughter in the death of 20-year-old Dante Wright, another fatal encounter that fueled a spring of protests demanding racial justice. The incident seen on police body camera video. Prosecutors say Potter and an officer she was training stopped Wright because of an air freshener hanging from a mirror, illegal in Minnesota, and expired license plates, and tried to arrest Wright after discovering an outstanding warrant for a gross misdemeanor weapons violation. Potter, with 26 years of police experience, is heard warning about firing a taser. But prosecutors say she fired a single lethal shot from her gun. What Potter's attorneys say was a mistake, an explanation Wright's family rejects.
Everybody who's been there for us, standing with us on one of the worst days of our life.
Is there anyone here who would believe the testimony of a police officer just because he or she is in law enforcement?
Potential jurors questioned about their views on police, race relations, and the unrest that erupted after Wright's death and during the trial of the officer convicted of killing George Floyd.
Juror number 7, you will be on this jury.
The judge saying it should take a week to seat 12 jurors, after assurances they would rely only on the evidence during the trial to determine whether Potter is criminally responsible for Wright's death. Potter faces up to 15 years in prison if convicted of first-degree manslaughter. One of her attorneys says the former police officer does plan to testify in her own defense.
Thanks, sir.
Okay, guys, and because there's so many cases going on, this is going to be a bonus one.
All right, now to stunning new developments in the trial of Ghislaine Maxwell, a woman identified only by the pseudonym Jane. She says disgraced financier Jeffrey Epstein took her to meet Donald Trump in the 1990s when she was just 14. NBC News correspondent for investigations Tom Winter joins us now. Tom, good morning. You've been following this for us, and now you're outside the courthouse again, so it's important to note that that woman did not say Trump acted inappropriately, but have we reached out to the former president? Has he said anything about Wednesday's testimony, and what exactly did she say?
Good morning, Savannah. That's correct. She did not say that the former president acted inappropriately in any way. She also really didn't characterize how that meeting went down, and she wasn't even asked about it. To your question, yes, the NBC News political unit did reach out to the former president and his representatives for any sort of comment. Trump, it came out in the proceedings day's testimony that he was on Jeffrey Epstein's plane, according to Jeffrey Epstein's pilot, and traveled on that plane as well. That's something we had heard about before, but it was the first time somebody has said it in open court. I think it's interesting that the defense is the one that is bringing up all of these associations with celebrity names, former presidents, including former President Bill Clinton. So it's not something that prosecutors are raising. It's something that the defense team has brought up in court in their cross-examination. They've also included Prince Andrew in that, as well as several bold-faced celebrity names. So we'll just have to see if the president has responded, and he hasn't responded yet to any of his other previous mentions in court, so we'll be following it closely, Savannah.
Now, Jane testified that she was regularly abused by Epstein and also by Maxwell. Tell us more about what she shared and also how the defense is responding to her testimony.
Right. So yesterday was the bulk of her testimony was focused on cross-examination. The defense attorneys asking her questions, and what they did is what they really telegraphed in their opening statement, Savannah, which is go after the credibility of these witnesses and also their memory. They've really focused on that. They've also talked about payments that some of these women have received. So the questioning was all on those lines, trying to use her prior statements to law enforcement, which were summarized by the FBI in their reports, which are commonly referred to as 302 reports, and compare that to her testimony in court and some of the things that they say happened to her. It's up to the jury, obviously, to determine whether or not that was a successful line of questioning, Savannah.
All right, Tom Winter, thank you so much.
Thanks for watching.
Okay, guys, so that's the way it's going to be. It's going to be panel-based. It'll be a panel. We'll show a news clip one at a time, and then we'll discuss. If you're interested, please let me know in the comment section and let me know what you think about the show. I think about doing it once a week, maybe on a Friday night or a Saturday night. Okay, guys, this is just a test run. Take care and have a great rest of your day.